I'm sure that most of you have already played through the new Archon quest, We Will Be Reunited. In this video, I'll be doing a quick recap on what happened throughout the quest. The main contents of We Will Be Reunited can be split into 5 sections. The Treasure Hoarders, traveling with Dainsleif, saving Andreas, solving the mystery behind the Flaming Tyrant, and encountering the lost sibling. At the start of the quest, we meet Ganyu and Lan at the Liu Adventurer Guild. They bring to the travelers' attention a grand plan suspected to be carried out by the Treasure Hoarders. The crux of the issue being the plan's heavy involvement of the Abyss Order. The Ministry of Civil Affairs had managed to uncover information pertaining to 2 of the biggest treasure hoarders in Liyue and Mondstadt, the Raptor of the North and the Big Sister of the South. Having discovered an ancient ruin protected by the Abyss Order, they were in the process of hatching a plot to pillage the ancient relics within. Their plan was to send in the Grand Thief, an infamous character hired from the distant city of Fontaine, to secretly infiltrate the ruins as the treasure hoarders divert the Abyss Order's attention elsewhere. Having been told this information, the traveler is then entrusted with the task of scouting out the ruins in question. We make it to the depths of the ruins without any obstacles. However, to everyone's shock, we find the Grand Thief, seemingly deceased, kneeling in front of a statue of the Seven hung upside down. As we stand in front of the statue, attempting to make sense of the situation we have found ourselves in, something activates inside the dungeon, causing us harm, thus leaving us no choice but to attempt to flee the ruins. This leads to our first encounter with a new character of the Abyss, the Abyss Herald. He attempts to block our path of retreat and get rid of us, as we had pried too deep into the secrets of the Abyss Order. After forcing the Abyss Herald to retreat, we run into Dainsleif outside of the ruins and explain to him what we had experienced inside. After having a discussion with him, we decide to follow the trail of the Abyss Herald and run into a few of the Abyss Order's monsters searching around ruins for something. A common pattern noticed was the presence of ruin guards or ruin hunters alongside the Abyss Order monsters. Dainsleif proceeds to explain to us the connection between the Abyss Order and the ruin guards, both having originated from the now fallen great nation of Khaenri'ah. This is where it is revealed to the player that the traveler themselves has memories of Khaenri'ah, a nation brought to ruin as long as 500 years ago. Apparently, the first memory the traveler has of this world was being awoken by their sibling from within a meteorite and being told to leave Teyvat as it had fallen into chaos due to the recent destruction of Khaenri'ah. It was during the process of escape that ensued that the unknown goddess intervened and the cutscene that happened at the very start of the game happened. Another bomb dropped by the game was the little known fact that Khaenri'ah, a great nation heralded as the greatest human nation, was brought to its feet by direct intervention of the gods themselves. The ruin guards, or to be more precise, field tillers, were tools created by the people of Khaenri'ah to protect it. However, with Khaenri'ah now being destroyed, the field tillers wander around Teyvat without an aim, and some even settle near other ruins, resonating with the sorrow of other lost civilizations. A tale that brings tears to the eye. Hey guys, I'd like to take a second here just so I can say, if you've been enjoying the video so far, why not hit the subscribe button? It would cost you nothing but would mean the world to me and this channel, since it's not been too long since the channel was started and it could really use all the help it can get. You'd very well be one of the first subscribers of the channel. That's all, back to the video. Our pursuit of the Abyss Herald with Dainsleif leads us to the discovery of a sinister scheme the Abyss Order has been silently executing, referred to as the Fate Weaving Operation. It is revealed that the Abyss Order plans to corrupt the mind of Asael, the overlord of the Vortex, and use the ancient technology of the field tillers to transform his body. The defiled statue seen at the depths of the ancient ruin was meant to be used as the foundation to which the limbs of Asael would be attached to in order to construct a mechanized god. The orb that would usually be held in the hands of the Statue of Seven was to be replaced by the eye of the very first field tiller. Here, we proceed to get just the slightest amount of light shed onto the end goal of the Abyss Order. The purpose for the creation of the mechanized god was to topple the divine throne of Celestia. In an attempt to learn more about the defiled statue, we head towards the Mondstadt Cathedral. When consulting Barbara regarding the issue, we learn of a statue of the Anemo Archon which had gone missing a long time ago. Additionally, we also hear another old story named The Tyrant's Final Fury, regarding an unknown being that resided within the ruins of Old Mondstadt, now known as Stormterror's lair. Many believed it to be a curse laid down by the god of storms. The validity of that claim was later debated. Amidst our discussion with Barbara, Rosaria interjects and brings to our attention of an incident taking place at Wolvendom at the very moment. Monsters of the Abyss Order had appeared and started causing problems. Acting Master Jean had headed over in haste with the Knights of Favonius in tow. As we head towards Wolvendom in order to assist Jean and Andreas, Dainsleif reveals to us the fact that the reason the Abyss Order seeks to destroy the nations governed by the 7 Archons is to enact revenge on them for the destruction of Khaenri'ah. As we get to Wolvendom, after separating from Dainsleif and having a brief encounter with Jean, we stumble onto a scene of Andreas and Razor being attacked by the Abyss Herald. Andreas, currently restrained by the Abyss Herald's power, was constantly having his willpower drained. As his mental resistance was being eaten away at, the Abyss Herald attempts to bewitch Andreas and convince him to join their cause. His attempts, however, ended up in failure, as Andreas, even when weakened, was capable of resisting the temptations put forth by the Abyss Herald. Seeing the situation turning for the worse, we engage in combat with the Abyss Herald for the second time, and once again manage to chase him off and free Andreas. After having a discussion with Andreas and sharing what we heard with Dainsleif, we managed to draw a line between the tale of the Titan's final fury we heard from Barbara and the first field tiller the Abyss Order was in search of. Under the assumption that the tyrant that had occupied Old Mondstadt was in fact the first field tiller that had escaped after engaging in a grueling fight with Andreas, we speculate that it might still be in Old Mondstadt. Remembering the ruin guard we had seen atop the grounds of Stormterror's lair previously, we take Dainsleif to where it was. Arriving at the location of the ruin guard thought to be the first field tiller, we attempt to use our elemental vision to locate the eye of the first field tiller, only to fail. However, Dainsleif steps in and manages to locate the eye of the field tiller using his own mystical power. He states that the reason for the eye of the first field tiller not being detectable via elemental vision was that it never depended on elemental power to function to begin with. Dainsleif offered to safeguard the eye of the first field tiller under the notion that hiding it away would pose too high a risk of discovery, and that his faith in the ability of the Cathedral of Mondstadt to protect it was next to non-existent, which is very reasonable considering their track record with the Holy Lyre as well as their god being sucker punched in the gut and mugged right outside the cathedral by a mortal. Following this, we decided to head back into the ancient ruins in order to destroy the defiled statue we had seen in the past. Once again, we encounter the Abyss Herald for the third and last time this chapter. After an intense battle with the fiend, it attempts to flee via a portal but is stopped by Dainsleif, who goes complete Darth Vader on it. However, when it seemed as if we had finally caught the Abyss Herald, we are suddenly interrupted by someone that rushes out of the portal and unleashes an attack on Dainsleif, freeing the Abyss Herald from its captivity. At this moment, the quest reaches its climax as we, for the first time, come face to face with our sibling who we had been in search for all this time. Both siblings seem surprised to find themselves standing on opposite sides as they question why the other stands where they do. Unlike the traveler, however, the lost sibling who had wandered this world for a far longer time seemed to have a stronger conviction and understanding about what their intentions were. The renegade sibling offers no explanation but states confidently that after the traveler has gone through the world of Teyvat as they had, they would come to understand the reason behind their actions. During this interaction, we also get a clearer understanding of Dainsleif and his mysterious identity. Dubbed the Twilight Sword, Dainsleif himself was a relic of the past, a royal guard to the long-lost civilization of Khaenri'ah, one who had failed his duty of protecting his nation. Cursed with a life of immortality, he was set to wander along the wilderness, witnessing as the people of the nation he swore to protect turned into creatures of the abyss. As one would expect, the revelation of the monsters of the abyss having once been citizens of Khaenri'ah definitely comes as a shock to many. The traveler pleads their sibling to leave behind all this and leave this world together. The sibling, however, declines.
Home. Yes, of course. Home is wherever we are together. But I cannot go with you to the next world to find a new home. At least, not yet. Until the abyss has engulfed the thrones, my war with destiny will see no end.
Saying this, the renegade sibling jumps into a portal and leaves with the Abyss Herald. The traveler attempts to jump through the portal but fails. Dying Slave, however, manages to phase through the portal. What we are left with is the sight of the traveler, who, feeling lost, was fortunate enough to still have Paimon by his side. She tries her best to cheer him up as she talks about the future. The game also hints at Inazuma coming soon through one of the text options, but at this point, the excitement felt from that seemed a bit dampened. In the end, we proceed to exit the ruin as the quest comes to an end. Personally, I do have to admit, even though I knew a lot of things that were going to happen due to piecing together information available in the past, MiHoYo's execution of this quest was absolutely brilliant. Certain scenes even managed to make chills spread through my whole body. This game has a lot of potential, and I look forward to seeing what MiHoYo has in store for us in the future. And with that, we reach the conclusion of this video. If you like the video, then be sure to drop a like and start a war down in the comment section about what you think will happen next. If you want to know a few of my thoughts on what is to come next, be sure to check out my first ever video on the Archon of Electro, Baal herself. And with that, I'll see you guys later.